Hello, my name is Vincent Ledesma, and this is my Multimedia Assignment 1, The Process of Research, Chapter 2. The first concept to understand in Chapter 2 is the hypothesis, which is a tentative statement about empirical reality involving a relationship between two or more variables. Empirical reality is important to understand because empirical reality is something that can be tested by observations of the senses. For the purpose of this presentation, we're going to use the hypothesis: the more an individual listens to classical music, the better the individual will perform in school. Moving on to variables. Variables are a characteristic or property that can vary. You'll have two types of variables whenever you're conducting a research. You'll have the dependent variable, which is a variable that is hypothesized to vary depending on or under the influence of another variable. And you'll have the independent variable, which is a variable that is hypothesized to cause or lead to variation in another variable. So, looking at the hypothesis that we've developed involving classical music and class performance, we'll have the variables class performance and classical music, where the class performance is the dependent variable and classical music would be the independent variable. The next concept in Chapter 2 that is important to understand in terms of the process of research is direction of association. Direction of association is a pattern in a relationship between two variables. That is, the value of a variable tends to change consistently in relation to change in the other variable. The direction of association can be either positive or negative. In a positive direction of association, an increase in one variable leads to an increase in the other. So again, with the hypothesis that we've developed with classical music and class performance, we're saying the increase in classical music will cause an increase in class performance. So our hypothesis would have a positive direction of association. In negative direction of association, an increase in one variable leads to a decrease in the other. So if we were to develop another hypothesis keeping with the same theme of music, say heavy metal music, and said an increase in heavy metal music listening causes a decrease in class performance, we would have a negative direction of association. So, I hope you have a better understanding of the process of research, including hypothesis, variables, and direction of association. In conclusion, it's important to understand that when conducting any research, you need to be able to distinguish between hypotheses and general predictions or statements of opinion. Again, a hypothesis can be tested through observations, where general predictions or statements of opinion cannot. Another thing to understand is that all of the preceding information is involved in deductive research, which is not the same as inductive research. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.